Hello everyone, in today's video I'm breaking down my Fireblade Kensai build. If you're picking up Wuchang for the first time and want a strong build that is fun and easy to play, this is the one for you. This build comes online very early, needs very little investment and delivers strong, consistent damage negation and self-healing. I'll cover everything you need to know from weapon choices, the best skills to take, pendants, tempering and more. Plus I'll show you exactly where to get every item featured in this build. So without any further delay, let's get started. We will start by looking at our skill tree, but before you start investing in the Longsword tree, I suggest that you invest 1 point in the general tree on the left side to unlock Skyborn Call. This will increase the amount of Skyborn stacks you can hold by 2 additional stacks. Having more Skyborn stacks will enable you to spam your skills to deal more damage. On both sides of the skill, you can increase your healing flask charges and potency by spending Forgotten Remembrance and Lost Remains. This is crucial for your survivability, so invest these items as you obtain them from the game. We are going to start the Longsword tree by taking Sword Saint. This will enable you to generate a stack of Skyborn Might on every second light attack, even if you missed the first attack. The best part about this skill is that it gives you stacks of Skyborn Might based on how many enemies you hit with your second light attack. So if you are fighting 2 enemies and you manage to cleave both of them, you will generate 2 Skyborn Might stacks, which is very cool. We are going to continue down the tree and take those strength nodes, which will increase our weapon damage. Most longswords in the game have scaling with both strength and agility, so if you want to improve your weapon damage, invest in these nodes. After that, we are going to take Wind Force, which will allow you to quickly attack with a fully charged heavy attack for the cost of 1 Skyborn Might stack. Charged heavy attack in this game is very strong. You can immediately stun most enemies in the game, including bosses, if you land a charged heavy attack from behind. So if you have 1 stack of Skyborn Might, you can dodge behind your enemy, land a quick charged heavy attack to immediately stun them and leave them open for a devastating critical strike. I have seen many guys going to the left side of the tree to obtain Sword Counter, which enables you to deflect or parry attacks. I personally don't like it very much for a number of reasons. First, you can only deflect certain attacks, while some attacks can only be avoided by dodging. Deflect also competes with the dodge mechanic, which is a lot easier to pull off and also very rewarding. You get 1 stack of Skyborn Might each time you dodge. Deflect can also generate Skyborn Might charges, but you have to take the Steel Resolve skill, and you have to be above 50% Madness threshold for that to happen. So instead, we are going right to take these endurance nodes to increase our stamina and all the way towards Sword Master. This will allow us to generate 2 stacks of Skyborn Might if you hit an enemy with the 5th light attack combo. Pay attention to these special nodes called Strong Blade. You unlock them by spending red feathers, and each point increases your weapon mastery by +1. Weapon mastery improves your weapon damage. There are 4 strong blade nodes in each weapon tree that will boost each weapon category up to +10. For now, spend your first red feathers in here to cross to the other side and grab Sword Savant. This will make every 3rd light attack to gain clash. This will greatly improve your damage negation when your weapon clashes with the enemies. Now we are going to make our way towards Crescent Arc. This, in my opinion, is the best discipline skill in the Longsword tree. Crescent Arc will allow you to quickly evade enemies' attacks, and it counts as dodge, which means if you time it correctly, you will generate 1 stack of Skyborn Might. However, what really makes this skill shine is the Variant 1 skill, which lets you follow up your dodge with a leap attack that has insane tracking. It doesn't matter how fast or elusive your enemy is, this will let you leap right on top of them and deal really nice damage. Very strong skill, try to get it online as fast as you can. By the way, you can change your weapon discipline skills from any shrine in the game. After that, we want to go back and invest more points in the general tree and grab both Swift Resilience and Conversion. Both these skills enhance the Swift Draw mechanic. Swift Draw allows you to quickly swap your offhand weapon and simultaneously activate your offhand weapon skill. However, you need to have enough Skyborn stacks to perform this. If you want to know exactly how many Skyborn Might stacks are required to Swift Draw your weapons, you can find this information in the weapons page. For example, to Swift Draw from Flamebringer Longsword to Steampowered Spear and activate Steam Chain, you need 2 Skyborn stacks. And if you want to use Swift Draw to go back to the Longsword and use Infernal Firebrand, you need only 1 stack. Swift Resilience and Conversion will cause your madness to greatly improve Swift Draw. At 50% madness, you are less likely to get interrupted while performing Swift Draw and have strong damage negation during the skill animation. At 90% madness and above, Swift Draw will deal a lot more damage and also heal you every time you use it. The healing is actually quite strong, and you will notice it when you start using Swift Draw back to back between your weapons. After that, we are going to grab Health Siphon. This will give some healing with the final attack on the light attack combo at 90% madness. Then we are going to grab Energetic and Rapid Temperance. This will improve the temperance effect on your weapon while you are at 50% madness. You can also choose to temper your weapon with any bone needle in this tree to give your weapon a status effect build up like Frost, Blight, and Corruption. So if you happen to know if a certain boss is vulnerable to a specific type of damage, you can temper your weapon with the corresponding bone needle to exploit that weakness. For this build, we are going to use the Voice Break Needle while using the Lashing Whip Longsword and the Flame Needle while using the Flamebringer. Just to be clear, you can only equip 1 bone needle in the first slot, while the other acupoint slots are for the Shadowstone needles like Agility and Strength. You can also increase the number of tempered charges by unlocking tempered skills here and here, and if you happen to find more Shadowstone needles, you can unlock more acupoint slots to equip them here, here, and here as well. Now let's talk about which weapons we are going to use. The main weapon for this build is the Flamebringer Longsword. This is arguably the best longsword in the game. It has very strong strength and agility scaling. The weapon skill Infernal Firebrand is a spin attack that deals nice cleave damage and cause burn build up. So it's really good weapon, not just for a single target but also while fighting multiple enemies. The burn build up will deal decent fire damage over time, which will increase your weapon's fire damage thanks to items like Burning Might and Burning Ignition. You should enchant Flamebringer with the Flame Temper. This will drastically increase your weapon damage and cause your weapon skill to also deal more damage and has increased burn build-up. You can obtain Flamebringer after defeating General of the North in the Rebel Camp area. Until you obtain the Flamebringer, use the Lashing Whip Longsword. This is a lot stronger than the Cloud Frost Edge Longsword that you get at the start of the game, since it has better scaling in both strength and agility. The second light attack and the weapon skill Whip Dance will transform the sword into a whip and cleave every enemy around you with extended reach. The Lashing Whip becomes a lot stronger when you are using Voice Break Temperance. This will help you to easily break enemies' voice to open them up for those devastating critical strikes. You can obtain the Lashing Whip near a shrine in the Mercury Workshop area. In our offhand, we are using the Steampowered Spear. While fighting with the Longsword and having 2 Skyborn Might stacks, you can use Swift Draw to quickly switch to the Steampowered Spear and activate the weapon skill, Steam Chain. This is a powerful spin attack that will create a firestorm that hits all enemies around you. Very strong weapon skill, and as I mentioned before, if you are above 90% madness, Swift Draw will also heal you, deal a lot more damage, and give you really strong damage negation that will enable you to fist tank most enemies while melting them with your fire attacks. You can purchase the Steampowered Spear from a panda located in a cave near the Lightsun Temple. For the armor, I'm using the Pirate Armor set, but feel free to use any armor you prefer. As for the pendants, I'm using the Twin Infant Pendant to increase stamina recovery speed. You can find it at the bottom level of the Mercury Workshop area. Lifesteal Pendant recovers a portion of your health with every enemy you defeat. You can buy this from Tao after giving him the All 3 Jet Cylinder that you get for defeating the Reborn Treant. Bravery Pendant increases your damage by 20% while your HP is full. You get this from a small chest in a tent inside the rebel camp. There is one more pendant that you get much later in the game called the Demon Pendant. It reduces physical damage by 20% but increases fire damage by 50%. This is a very strong pendant that will synergize extremely well with our fire build. For Benediction, I will give you two templates, one for clearing levels and exploration, and another template for fighting bosses. During exploration, you should use Vitality Ferocity. This will increase your damage by 20% while at maximum HP. Maintaining a maximum HP full time should be easy for you thanks to the Lifesteal Pendant and Swift Draw Health Regeneration while at 90% Madness or above. You get this by defeating the Feathered Priest on the top floor of the Shoe Sanctum. Lethal Might is an insane benediction and probably the best in the game. It will increase your damage and generate a charge of Skyborn Might with every enemy you defeat. This will allow you to spam Swift Draw a lot more often. Lethal Might can be found very close to the Outskirts Shrine. Just follow this route I'm showing you to easily obtain it. For the last slot, I'm using Combo Ignition, which will increase our weapon's fire attack power with every consecutive attack. I will quickly show you where you can find it from the Outskirts Shrine. This should be your Benediction setup while clearing levels. However, if you're about to fight a boss, I suggest you swap Vitality Ferocity with Burning Might. This will increase our damage and generate a stack of Skyborn Might when we set enemies on fire. This can be found in a small chest near the Snow Palace Shrine. And instead of Lethal Might, use Burning Ignition. Lethal Might is extremely strong while killing enemies, but useless in most boss fights. On the other hand, Burning Ignition will increase our weapon fire attack power when we set enemies on fire. From the Snow Peak Pass, cross the bridge and go through the house on the left side. The item is inside a small chest on the snowy ledge. For your spear, use whatever you have available. I'm using Vitality Power to increase my damage by 20%, Vitality Ward to reduce damage taken at full HP. Combo Force will increase our damage with every consecutive attack. Here is how you prepare for boss fights. Make sure your character is sitting at 90% Madness or above. A good way to increase your madness is to use the invoke system. This will give you nice consumables in exchange for your madness. You can also use maddening incense. Make sure to use temperance flame with the Flamebringer longsword or poise break with the Lashing Whip. Other useful consumables are blunt branch, which will grant you 5 stacks of skyborn might. Arm feather will grant you a random boon that will either increase your maximum health, stamina, or damage. Soft rush flowers to increase stamina recovery speed, and crimson lantern fruit to reduce stamina cost. This will let you spam your attacks and skills without having to worry about your stamina. Other than that, I was using divine ward before boss fights to improve my damage negation. When you start the combat, start generating skyborn might stacks with longsword light attacks and dodging. Ideally you want to have 3 stacks, this way you can use Swift Draw, Steam Chain and Infernal Firebrand back to back. This is such a strong combo that will deal so much damage and heal you at the same time. This concludes our Fireblade Kensai build. I spent a lot of time testing and fine tuning this to make it both fun and effective, but if you have ideas to improve it even further, I'd love to hear them in the comments. If you found this guide helpful, please consider leaving a like, dropping a comment, and subscribe for more future builds and guides. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.